Down, set, hut. The controversy of NFL players protesting during the national anthem has caused an uproar in the community over the morals of the issue. In 2016, Colin Kaepernick, quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, chose to kneel during the anthem to protest racial injustice in America. This choice sparked a widespread topic, with critics and supporters arguing the players' rights to protest during the national anthem. The NFL is penalizing players to silence their protests against police brutality and racism in the United States.
Bless you.
The national anthem protests take on lots of different forms, as many players kneel, others raise fists, and few prefer to simply speak their mind about the current issues in the United States. According to Dwight Adams in 2018, the main goal of the players have in mind is to raise awareness to racial inequality and police violence against minorities. This issue is very important in America today, and many of these players feel advancements are not being made on the issue. In 2016, former San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick chose to take matters into his own hands. He knelt during the national anthem and told media he was striving to bring attention to the racial injustice issue. The movement caught fire, inspiring many other players to take part, as well as critics claiming the actions were unpatriotic. Malcolm Jenkins, safety for the Philadelphia Eagles, stated that over 60% of prisoners are people of color and 70% of the NFL is African American. He feels that NFL players are a small amount of fortunate minorities, and they need to stand up together for the benefit of the less fortunate minorities of America. The national anthem protests were a popular topic in America, sparking mixed emotions from the public. President Trump voiced his opinion soon after the issue began. According to Dwight Adams in 2018, Trump felt that as the player wants the privilege of making millions in the NFL, he should not be allowed to disrespect the country's anthem and flag. The NFL players are at it again, taking a knee when they should be standing proudly for the national anthem. Find another way to protest, stand proudly, or be suspended without pay. Along with Trump's view on the issue, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones stated that he would bench players who did not respect the anthem. A large portion of the public chose to side with President Trump, while others argued the players have a right to protest. A Quinnipiac University poll showed 58% of Americans feel the players' protests were not unpatriotic. Additionally, 53% said NFL players should be allowed to protest on the field. This poll also showed that 51% of voters felt NFL's new policy on the issue was fair to both players and fans. The issue on the players kneeling for the national anthem has caused NFL many problems throughout the years. Large amounts of fans are turning away before the game even starts due to the players' protests. The disapproval of fans has caused TV ratings to drop during NFL games, affecting revenue and creating negative feelings around the league. According to Mike Snyder, NFL ratings were down 10% in the first 3 weeks of the season, amounting to a decrease of almost $2.8 million compared to the previous year. Due to the drop in ratings and criticism of the NFL players, the league decided to solve the issue with a new policy. This new policy stated that players must stand and respect the anthem. However, players were given an alternate option. Players were also allowed to stay in the locker room during the anthem. The reasoning behind this policy was that players were not allowed to protest on the field, but they were allowed to not participate in the national anthem. The initial policy lacked a penalty to those players who chose to disobey the league. Therefore, an addition was put into place, allowing the NFL teams to further punish players for their actions. Due to the fact that teams were to be fined if their players protested on the field, teams were given the power to punish players for their actions. Immediately following this addition, a few team owners commented that they would never punish players for protesting and would cover the fines without any repercussions toward the acting players. According to New York Jets owner Woody Johnson, if somebody on the Jets takes a knee, that fine will be borne by the organization, by me, not by the players. I never want to put restrictions on the speech of our players. The league stated that team owners unanimously voted in favor of the policy requiring players to stand, as well as for teams to be able to punish players. The New York Jets and San Francisco 49ers owners abstained from the vote, not full on board with the new implications. Overall, these national anthem protests have been effective in drawing attention to racial injustice movements in America. Players have their own way of protesting in the NFL, but for the most part, most of them choose to stand for the anthem. After public criticism, the NFL chose to implement a policy prohibiting such protests. This policy seemed to help the issue, allowing players to stay in the locker room and allowing fans to enjoy the game. Before this policy was in place, over 200 players knelt or protested in other ways following Colin Kaepernick's lead in 2016.